Goodpaster on the Grueling Truth, and this is our March Madness betting special. We are to the late game of Saturday's Final Four matchup between the Miami Hurricanes and the UConn Huskies. This should be a titanic heavyweight matchup. And real quick, UConn's favored by 5 to 5.5 points. And I think the thing no one wants to talk about, when considering how dominant UConn Huskies has been, is Iona is Iona. St. Mary's is an okay team. Arkansas was the ninth best team in the SEC. And even with the great win over a dead UCLA team with 5 gassed guys and no depth, this wasn't the Gonzaga of recent years. So obviously, there's no such thing as an easy path to the Final Four. But Miami roared back and took out Texas. It blew out Houston, a 1 seed. It didn't have any issues with the Indiana Hoosiers. Okay, so it took a little bit to get past Drake in the first round, but it won by living on the free throw line. It did the same thing against Texas, hit 11 free throws against Houston, and out-rebounded Indiana by 16. Now, the team finds ways to get the job done. Jim Larrañaga has done a great job with this team. If you remember, he brought George Mason all the way to the Final Four in 2006. And it's playing with confidence, efficiency, and most of all, it's been smart and adaptable. But what it's doing, what it does well, look out. Miami scores in bunches, and it's at its best when hitting from three-point range. Gonzaga did a little bit of it. It didn't do anything right, basically, but it has yet to face a team in the tournament who's this good from the outside. So, yeah, they face Gonzaga. Gonzaga does not shoot the outside shot the way Miami does. And it's going to take a team that can score from anywhere and everywhere to beat UConn. But that's Miami. Now, the Canes are 18-2 when scoring 79 or more points. And one of those losses was in overtime to a good NC State team. And the other was on a last-second shot against Florida State. So Miami's got a significant real chance here to beat UConn. And yeah, I know UConn hasn't played an amazing team, as I just brought up, like a Miami, other than maybe Gonzaga, but Gonzaga is nowhere near as good as Miami. And the road to Houston hasn't been as difficult, but no one is playing better. So the 4 opponents weren't quite as amazing, but UConn destroyed all of them by an average of close to 23 points a game. The size is going to matter here in so many ways. A guard-oriented team like Texas was the right fit for Miami. If UConn has size everywhere and way too much bulk to overcome, there doesn't have to be anything fancy about this, right? All that points that UConn should win the game. The Huskies can keep pounding away inside. They should win the rebounding margin. And more importantly, the size is combined with the right defensive intensity on the outside. UConn is one of the best teams in the nation at guarding the three, and there will be problems if Miami has to win on the inside. So when we pick this game, the 5 to 5.5 points is huge. You know, you get the fouls, you get the free throws. The Hurricanes are amazing from the line, and UConn gets hammered with a lot of fouls. And Miami can make those free throws. It's not going to be a total wipeout like the first 4 rounds. So what happens when UConn is challenged? You know, that's always the big question to me. When a team just runs through this, I don't remember too many other teams that were as dominant as UConn was. The only team I could think of off the top of my head, I'm sure there's more, was the 1981 Indiana Hoosiers, who, you know, beat Maryland by like 35 points. They blow out UAB. They blow out St. Joe's. Hell, they got to the Final Four. They blew out LSU, North Carolina to win it all. This UConn Husky team is not the 1981 Hoosiers. The Miami Hurricanes, I'm going to take the Canes in the points. I don't know if they'll win the game here, but I think you got to get ready for a lot of scoring here, a lot of momentum waves, and a great showdown. I'm going to take Miami into 5.5 points. Still haven't made my mind up who I'm picking straight up, because if I change that, then maybe I just go on the money line and take the plus 130 or 140 with UConn or with Miami. But right now, my best bet for this late Final Four game is take UConn or take Miami plus the 5 to 5.5 points. And if you look around here, I've seen a couple sports books that had it plus 6 also. So make sure you shop around before you find a place to bet on this game for you. All right, guys. Once again, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You can follow me on Twitter at Grueling Truth. You can like, subscribe, hit the bell notification at YouTube. Make sure you go to bet at BetMGM, our top recommended spot for betting on this Final Four. You can find the links in the description below on our YouTube channel. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Once again, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth.